Oh my goodness, said Kirsty, leaning back in her padded chair and looking up. This is incredible. On the screen, stars and planets whoosh past in the blink of an eye. It feels as if we are really up there, Rachel said. This is the closest I will ever get to being an astronaut, said Mr. Tate with a chuckle. The seats filled up as more people arrived, gasping in wonder. At last the big door closed, and a deep rumble of music stopped everyone talking. There was an expectant silence. Then a voice thundered around them. Welcome to the Science Museum. The crowd cheered and applauded. The first activity of the night is a trip into outer space, the voice went on. Look out for the black holes as we hitch a ride to the International Space Station. A large spacecraft appeared above them. Rachel and Kirsty held on to their arms of their chairs. It really feels as we are whizzing around the space station, said Kirsty. I am getting dizzy. And I am getting travel sick, said Mr. Tate sadly. I'm sorry, girls, but I will have to miss out on this trip. Will you be okay if I wait for you back at our camp? Of course, the girls replied. Mr. Tate laughed as a deep voice boomed on. The International Space Station is a space where astronauts live when they are in space. It orbits around the Earth, but it is not just a home. It is a science lab too. Astronauts from all over the world work together to learn more about space. The screens change as they zoom inside the space station. The girls saw lots of complicated equipment and men and women floating in the air. The space station is made of many pieces called modules. It is as big as a house inside. Solar panels collect energy from the sun and turn it into electricity. There is a big window and there are doors called airlocks. Astronauts can even go outside for spacewalk. As the voice went on explaining about the work of the space station, Rachel felt Kirsty tugging at her sleeve. Look under the seat in front of you, Kirsty whispered. Something was glowing in the darkness. Is it part of the show? Rachel asked. It's even more exciting than the show, said Kirsty. I think it's magic. Together the best friend bent down to peer under the seat and then smiled. A tiny fairy was standing there with her fingers to her lips. In the darkness, the tip of her tiny wand had a silvery glow. Hello, Rachel and Kirsty, the little fairy whispered. I am Aisha, the astronaut fairy, and I need your help. The girls exchanged a glance. They were always ready to help the fairies, but it would be tricky inside the planetarium. Hide under my hair, said Rachel. We can creep out while everyone's listening to the show. It is lucky that we are at the end of the row. It was so dark that no one noticed them tiptoeing towards the door. They slipped out into the Discovery Space Gallery and then into the corridor. There was no one around. Everyone's listening to the show, said Kirsty. It is safe, Aisha. The little fairy flew out from beneath Rachel's hair. She was wearing a silvery purple dress with silver space boots, and her dark hair was tied up in a loose bun. She looked worried. I desperately need your help, she said, fluttering in front of the girls. I am one of the Discovery fairies. It is my job to look after astronauts as they explore and make new discoveries. This morning something terrible happened. Please, will you come to Fairyland with me? Of course, said the girl at once. Aisha raised her wand and instantly sparkling stars surrounded Rachel and Kirsty. They felt their Rosamere fairy wings quivering and they rose off the ground. The stars dazzled them. Then suddenly they were no longer inside the museum. They were flying towards a domed glass building beside a launch pad. A silver rocket was standing on the launch pad. Around the dome, the grass was dotted with amazing sculptures. Each one was formed from complicated geometric shapes and patterns. What a cool-looking place, said Kirsty. This is where we watch over all the discoveries that are made in the human world, said Aisha. Come and meet other discovery fairies. They swooped down towards the glass dome. As she got closer, a panel slid open in the glass. Aisha flew in, followed by Rachel and Kirsty. Welcome to Mission Control, said Aisha.